Thank you for your support. I appreciate it. What's up, Kim? Jasmine, what's good? Laminator was popping. Shamika was good. Yeah, I'm in Virginia. Oh, excuse me. Empress was good. You got a motherfucker like me, bitch. You getting trashed on 2K by your husband is crazy word. Oh, you on Roanoke? Okay. That's dope. Llama Gen X was popping. Chef John Malama was popping. You ain't gotta love me, I love myself. Are you gonna start streaming while gaming again? Absolutely. Humble narrator was good. What's up, Bree? Good as I can be, honestly. What's good, Aunt? Hope your day was great. Today was okay. Not really particularly fond about what's about to take place, but it's needed and necessary, so. Hey, what's up? What up, Dawn? I know I said I would be live between 6 and 8, so just trying to give enough people time to get in here. That way I don't have to repeat myself. Keeping it streaming me? Okay. What up, Mimi? And your eyebrows look laminated. I'm jealous. I'm weak. I finally caught a live. Damn. Well, it's a crazy live to catch. Hey, Aunt, hope all is well. I've been busy with work lately. All good, Dawn. All good, Dawn. Appreciate you pulling up. Can y'all hear me good? I know the music's kind of loud. Can y'all hear me pretty decent? Petty Auntie was good. Yes, y'all can hear me pretty good. Only reason why I'm not using my mic is because I got so many papers sitting in front of me. I don't want to keep shuffling in between papers and cords and all of that. I'm just not. So just to give you some perspective, I got all of this here. I got all of this here. Then I got all of this here. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. I got a lot of stuff. I'm gonna touch on a lot of stuff. Listen, bro, you gotta protect your peace. Absolutely. It's been a hot minute. I hope this thing is good. You know what's crazy? What's crazy is that, like, regularly people miss my streams, right? I don't show up on their For You page, apparently, or haven't shown up on their For You page. But the moment I go live to address some nonsense, all of a sudden they start pushing it out to everybody and their mama. I think that's crazy work. But I don't control the algorithm, you know what I mean? So I'm just thankful for the people that show up for me regularly, you know what I mean? And that's no shade or no slight to nobody, you know what I'm saying? You've been locked into the drama niche? No, not really. Oh, he got receipts and backups on MLA formats. I'm weak. Yeah, it's a lot of paper sitting in front of me because people love drama. Well, yeah, that's a fact. I'm gonna give it one more minute, then I'm gonna start. I also want to make some things clear because I know some people get locked into niches, and if they don't do that, content doesn't get pushed. I feel you. As soon as I start cooking, right, the comments will go off. I will not be allowing anybody in the box so as to not contribute to what's about to happen because the truth is not bashing. It's really and truly just about dispelling lies that have been told about me, some misinformation as it relates to the things that have been said. So me personally, regardless of what's been done to me, I will not be allowing anybody in the box to down talk my children's mother. I'm gonna speak the truth. I have text messages in front of me. I got bank statements. I got LESs. I have court documents. I got a lot of stuff. Can y'all see a professional to mediate? There's nothing to mediate. My divorce was final in September of 23. So at the end of the day, it's just about speaking the truth. And the truth of the matter is you can heal however you deem necessary. However, when you just get to outrightly lying on me and saying that I'm not taking care of my kids and I'm not supporting you, crazy work. Crazy work. So I'm going to give a few more, maybe like another minute. How are you anyways? I'm all right. I'm just going to be clear. This doesn't feel good at all. It doesn't. This does not feel good. And I'm going to tell you why this doesn't feel good. At this point, I'm going to cut the music off. Anyone that knows me on this platform, they know that I pretty much built my platform on destroying goofies. .com, .gov, .edu, bringing all of our receipts, history, and things of that nature. I never would have thought that the person on the receiving end of an onslaught of such, in terms of paperwork and receipts and all that, would be the woman that gave me the 3 most beautiful blessings in my life. I also want to be clear about something as well. I am not perfect, right? I don't claim myself to be. I don't profess myself to be. However, at the end of the day, right is right and wrong is wrong. And to get on the internet and say I'm not taking care of my kids, which is not true, that I'm not paying child support, which is not true, that I'm not paying alimony, which is not true, it's disgusting. And all of the people that's around her that either 1, contributed to the lies, or 2, allowed them to be perpetuated in her space, or 3, which I'm hoping is the case, they didn't even know. It is my firm belief and hope that you all didn't know all of what I'm about to say, because I want to say this with full confidence. All of the people, more specifically, and I said this in my video, that have said things about me, more specifically, the women, I want to say to you with full confidence. Now, I'm looking at the screen just so that y'all understand. I have the iPad 10, so the camera is right here. So I'm going to look into the camera when I say this, but I'm looking down at the chat as I'm talking to you all. All of the women that have said things about me in regards to their piece of crap baby daddy or whatever the case may be, or experience that they had, those feelings and experiences are valid. And I forgive you for the things in which you've said about me because you think my children's mother is living a life that she's not. And I'm going to outline that in this live. I also want to say this too before I get started. I have absolutely no issue whatsoever with you all supporting her Cash App, her Amazon wish list for her new apartment. What I do have a problem with is that support being garnered under the degradation of my name as a father. Because many of you all think you're supporting her under the guise that I ain't shit. And I'm not doing for my children. And I'm not supporting her. So it is my firm hope and belief, even for those of you that are watching this that don't like me at all, right? The truth is the truth. You cannot like me and acknowledge that what's taken place has been disgusting. What has been perpetuated against me has been disgusting. But here's the deal. The moment that onslaught started, the quote unquote smear campaign, court was in play. And many of you hit me on the back end like, yo, I speak. You're not going to say nothing about this? You're not going to go live? You're not going to address this? Well, I got a lawyer, and my lawyer advised me against it. And I'm going to get to the financial piece a little bit later on in this live so that you all can understand exactly what I mean when I say I got a lawyer and where I'm at financially. I've been nothing but transparent, not just with you all, but with her from the very beginning. Moderators, how many moderators I got in here? Because I'm about to start cooking. I need y'all to do me a favor. Here, all right, do me a favor. Cut the comments. Because what I'm not going to do is foster and or facilitate a space in which people feel comfortable disrespecting her, right? Regardless of whether or not that is reciprocated to me. I'm not letting nobody up in the box to disrespect her at all. I hate the fact that this is playing out on social media. Yeah, I hate that too, but I'm going to address that as well. All right, nobody else touched the comments. I think 2 moderators back to back. One person turned them off, one person turned them back on. Are we good to go? One of my mods. I need one of y'all to text me just so I can make sure that y'all don't overlap. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Comments off. Hello, good. All right, bet. All right, so for many of you that don't know, I was married to, I don't want to call her a content creator because she's not a content creator. She's my children's mother. I was about to say a content creator on TikTok. My children's mother, my ex-wife. Our divorce was final last year, September of 2023. We married in August of 15. I asked her for the divorce the second time in December of 21, and I'll get to that. And I filed for divorce in January of 22. It was final in September of 23. And I'm going to frequently look down because I have a lot of paperwork in front of me, okay? I have text messages. I have screenshots of bank statements, my LES, which is a leave and earning statement, which is essentially my check stub, and court documents as well, because I want to fully outline to you all what's taken place over the past 2 to 3 months. Let me go all the way back. My children's mother, as well as her friends, like to say that I financially abused her, right? Which is straight cap. At the time when we got married, I had 5 bank accounts. My checking, my saving, she had her checking, her savings. We were joint owners on each other's accounts, and then a savings for my children, right? They like to talk about this debit card situation. And for those of you that don't know, I'm going to give you the full context of the debit card situation because they like to talk about, oh, he financially abused her because he cut the debit card up. Well, first and foremost, let me say this. It is very difficult to cut a debit card up if you don't have scissors. However, I didn't see too many people asking, well, why would a grown man cut a debit card up, right? Now, let me explain. Before I get into that, I want to acknowledge. Can I hold space to acknowledge that cutting up a debit card was probably excessive? Sure, I can acknowledge that. However, the point was to send a message. What message was I trying to send? What she conveniently leaves out is that debit card that I cut up was her card to my account, my main checking account that my Navy money flowed through. And she would randomly leave the card in Walmart, Target, and then the final straw, it was a litany of other places as well, but the final straw for me was when she left it in my car and left my car open. And my car got robbed. Thankfully, the bills were paid that month and there was no money on that card. So the thieves Where I was living at was literally right behind the housing office. So they dropped it in front of the housing office, whereby in the morning, the housing office people subsequently picked it up, called me while I was at work. Hey, Mr. Highland, I need you to come pick these cards up. I'm like, what? Pick what cards up? I get there, it's her debit card. I get in the house. I'm like, yo, did you leave your card in the car? Because I had already told her that morning that the car got robbed. Neither one of us smoked cigarettes. The car door was open. There were cigarette butts on the driver's seat and the passenger seat, and the middle console was open. I'm from the hood. I know what a robbery looks like. And then I retrieve your debit card from the front office. And I'm like, listen, that's enough. And again, I'm going to acknowledge me cutting up that card was excessive. I can acknowledge that. However, the point that I was trying to make was this is where all of our money flows through. And if you can't have a little bit of responsibility to ensure that you're taking care of this, then you don't need it. Another thing that she conveniently leaves out is that of my 5 bank accounts, she had access to all 5 of them. So she was never cut off from the money. She could have taken whatever money was in that checking account that she needed in her account and transferred it to her account because she had a card. She could have very well got in the car, drove to the bank if she needed to, and still got money out because she was a joint owner on the account. Let's fast forward a few weeks. In my mind, I'm thinking, okay, hold space for the debit card, cutting it up excessive, cool, but point proven. Hey, listen, I'm trying to take care of this family. I'm the only one working. And I want to elaborate on that in just a second. I'm the only one working. So give me that space to acknowledge, yo, I need you to be more responsible with this debit card. Because had they got us when I got paid, oh, we'd have been screwed. Fast forward a few weeks. I'm going to get back to the only person working, because I don't want to disrespect her in that regard because I gave her options when we got married. But I'm going to get to that. I don't like going in women's purses or clutches or wallets or any of that. Y'all be having some sharp ass shit in your purses and bags and all that. So I don't even like doing that. She had told me to get something, or asked me rather to get something out of her, because she never really used purses like that. It was like a little wallet, a little Michael Kors wallet. No dab, a little something slight. And I open it to get her card, and I see a shiny new card. So I'm like, you got a debit card for my account, a debit card for your account. I took this card, cut it up. You should only have one card in here. So I take the card out and I walk over to, I go up the steps to her and I say, is this to my account? She goes, yes. I said, why do you have a debit card for my account? Oh, because you was doing too much cutting my card up. I said, Tasha, when did you order this card? The day you cut my card up. I said, okay, that was in 2019. I said, I want a divorce. Because if you can't respect me trying to protect the financial integrity of this household, we don't need to be together anymore. Because that was messed up. You left that in the car and my car got robbed. And had there been money in there, our rent wouldn't have got paid, our cell phones wouldn't have got paid, none of the bills would have been taken care of. Now, I want to go back to the part where I said I was the only one working. When we got married, first and foremost, I want to acknowledge she is very intelligent, she's a hustler at heart, and she has the capacity to work, always has. I gave her 3 options when we got married. You could either, 1, work from the crib. I'll make space available. We didn't even have any children at that time. We didn't have our first child until after we were married. Not shitting on nobody that did before, because I know how people take things on the internet. I said, you want to work from the crib? I got you. You want to work a conventional job? Go do your thing. I'll make sure that you got your proper ID so you can take me to work. I'll get a ride home. You do whatever hours you're going to do. Or the third option is you could be a stay-at-home mom. All 3 of those things I'm completely comfortable with. She had 2 jobs when she first got to Virginia. It was Chipotle and I believe Red Lobster. I believe she got the job at Chipotle, and that's when we ended up getting married. If I'm not mistaken, and I may be murking the timeline up just a little bit, she got pregnant with my daughter. But then she didn't do neither one of those two jobs. She went and started working at a thrift store, which was essentially punching a clock. And I use air quotes because punching a clock is just either timing in, it's like historical, punch a clock, whatever. And she's working at the thrift store. Closer to delivery, she was like, yo, before I put the children in daycare, in order for me to go back to work, I want them to be able to talk first. Because of situations, and I'm not going to delve deeper into that, I just want them to be able to talk first. I said, cool, no problem. What does that timeline look for you? Children talk at different areas and levels and stages of development. So whenever that took place, boom, we'll hold space for that. 2 years later, pregnant with my first son. That's around the time the 5, 6, 7. Yeah, the debit card situation happened right before my third son was born. At that time, I'm like, listen, I got you. Take care of the crib, take care of the kids, I got you. No worries. At this point in time, after the debit card situation happened, she kept saying to me, I want to help you. I see how you stress out by taking care of this family. And let me be very clear about something. I'm not asking for no pat on the back for taking care of the family. I'm not asking for that because that's what I was supposed to do, right? Especially considering the fact that I gave her the options that I gave her, right? I said, do what you need to do in the crib. But she kept saying, I want to help you. I see how you've been stressing out. I want to help you financially. So I said, okay, well, what do you want to do? Whatever you want to do, I want to support you. Now, this goes into all of her little friends, and I'm not going to call nobody out specifically because you know who you are, that have stated that I never supported her, right? I hooked her up with this program called the My CAA program. It's a program within the Navy. I'm not sure if it's other branches, so excuse my ignorance if it works for other branches as well. And what it is it's a platform upon which it gives civilians certifications and or certificates of completion in markets whereby they would have had to pay thousands of dollars to get it. The certification was in medical coding and billing. She got it en route to Hawaii. I did my first tour in Norfolk, here in Virginia. Then we went to Hawaii for 3 years, and now I'm back here in Virginia, just so that you all understand the timeline. Going to Hawaii, she was like, well, I don't want to do that because I don't want to have to get up early in the morning because we would have to go off of Central Standard Time instead of Hawaii Standard Time. And I'm like, yo, I can go to, if I need to go to bed a little bit earlier, I go to bed a little bit earlier so that I can get up. If the kids get up in the middle of the night, that way you can work whatever hours you're going to work. Then when I get off work, you can put in more hours because you can pretty much make your own schedule. She said, no, I don't want to do that. I said, okay, cool. Let me know what you want to do, and I got you. Then she tells me she wants to be a professional makeup artist. I'm like, okay, cool. We can do that. Me, having the platform that I have, seeing how social media works, knowing people within the industry, I'm like, you need education from an accredited school so that when you go to do your clientele, they're like, yo, pretty much like what qualifies you to be able to woo, woo, woo. Now, let me acknowledge, are there people who are self-taught that have made a way for themselves? Absolutely. However, my thought process was, whatever you want to do, I want to support you in that. So I spent $3,000 for her to go to makeup school, which she did phenomenally at, passed everything. But me, I don't just halfway invest, I all the way invest. So because of situations that was going on with her credit, whatever, I went to Ulta and I got a credit card in my name for her to show her just how invested I was in what she wanted to do. My issue with that was every time I turned around, she was shutting her TikTok down. And I'm like, yo, it's better for you to just not post or not be on the app if you're going to take a break so that you come back to those clients, because her complaint was she was doing makeup, selling lashes. She would come back, those individuals would have gone to somebody else. Well, why are they going to other people? I'm like, listen, you can't keep deactivating your page. It's much better for them to send that message. It sit there in your inbox so that when you come back or you intermittently check it, you don't have to post no content. You don't have to go live. Just make sure your inbox is still open. She then tells me, I don't want your help. I want to do this on my own. And I'm like, I literally get paid to teach people how to do this. You got me here for free. Again, a lot of portion of this, right? After that is when we got into a debacle, and I started to realize something. She would continuously weaponize my achievements against me and then acknowledge that. Everybody can't wake up with 1.5 million followers. And I'm like, what? I didn't just wake up with 1.5 million followers. Everybody can't go to college for free. I bust my ass when I was in school to get my full 4-year academic scholarship. Why are you doing this? So then as that continued to happen, I'm like, I told her something the night before we got married. And I promise you, I don't mean any arrogance when I say this. I'm a visionary. And my right hand to God on all 3 of my kids, I told her, Tasha, and I'm not going to say her full name because I don't want to dox her, I'm going to be famous. We are not going to live normal lives. I don't know how long it's going to take me to get there, but God has already shown me on stage in front of hundreds of thousands of people. We are not going to live normal lives. The mansion, I'm going to drive my Guinea eventually, you know what I'm saying? And I want to support you in whatever it is that you want to do. However, I'm telling you the vision that God has given me. If you don't want that life, don't marry me. I'm telling you, if that's not the life that you want, do not marry me. She said, okay, I'm rocking with you. I said, I bet. Just for, I guess, continuity purposes. We got married in August of 2015. I had known Tasha since 2008. So in my mind, I'm thinking, there's no reason why this ain't the woman I'm supposed to be with. I had a really bad breakup or whatever, and we dated a little bit when I was in high school. She broke up with me. I went to college. After I got out of college, crazy relationship, whatever, and she continued to support me through all of that, right? At the time, she was in a little situation or whatever. I'm not going to delve deep into that, but I didn't like it. And I'm like, listen, I'm in the military. You feel me? Come down to Virginia. I'm going to get you a good job. Woo, woo, woo. Everything going to be Gucci. I'll sleep on the floor. You can have my bed. But then I realized, like, damn, this woman been in my life for this many years. There's no reason why this shouldn't be my wife. So I call her up. I'm like, yo, I don't want you to come to Virginia to be my friend. Or as my friend. I want you to come to Virginia as my wife. And she started crying on the phone. I've been waiting for you to say this for a couple of years. I low-key got in my feelings because I'm like, you broke up with me, but I digress. So in that, I'm thinking to myself, through all of these different experiences, all of the things that we persevered through, all of the things that had happened up until that point. And I just asked her, after having gone through what I went through with the false allegations of sexual assault from another content creator who shall remain nameless and is pointless to even bring up, I felt like I was abandoned during that time period, that I wasn't supported at all as my wife. And you look me in my face and you say, well, what was I supposed to say? I wasn't there, which is valid. However, you could have very well said, hey, listen, while I wasn't there, I know my husband. And I know that's not indicative of his character, because it's not. Not to toot my own horn, but toot, I ain't never had no problems in that department as it relates to women. And I think you a sorry ass individual to feel like you need to take something from a woman that don't belong to you, more specifically, her private parts. So no, I never did that. So I went and I did things my way. I got NCIS involved. I got the FBI involved because of the death threats that she was putting out on social media. And I got my name cleared. Through all of that, I definitely felt abandoned. And I said that to her. When she asked me, do you feel like I supported you through that? No, I don't feel like you did at all. After the continual weaponization of my achievements against me, it started to make me think. And I was like, I wonder, after I asked her for that divorce the first time because of the finances, my dad talked to me that very same day. He says, son, that's your wife. That's not your girlfriend. Go work on your marriage. Go talk to her. See how she's feeling. I know how you feeling in this moment, but go talk to her. I said, okay. Very next day, I went and I talked to her. She looked me in my face. She apologized for the debit card stuff. And she said, I don't want to give up. I still got fight left in me. I said, okay, cool. Then for the next 2 years, you literally give me less than the bare minimum. What do I do with that? I'm giving you resources to go to therapy. I'm giving you resources and you tell me I'm in survival mode. I don't even know what that means. I'm looking up different resources to get to you. Again, this whole idea that I never supported her. Cap, I started internalizing it myself. Well, dang, am I doing something? Can I do something better? And let me reiterate, I'm not saying I was the prim, proper, pristine husband. My communication definitely could have used some work. You feel me? So I don't want this to become oh my God, she was such a shitty wife and you were such a great husband. I could have definitely worked on some things as well. However, I never stopped going to therapy. I continued going because it was needed and necessary. So then I asked her in plain language, fast forward to all of the turmoil that was taking place. I said, when I told you where our lives were going and where I saw God taking us, when I told you that, I'm going to ask you in plain language, did you believe me? And she looked me in my face. Well, she turned because she wasn't looking at me, looked me in my face and told me no. I said, okay. I'm going to ask that question a different way. When I told you exactly what it is that I was going to do, did you believe in me? Because the actions that you're perpetuating lets me know you didn't think so. So I want to know for me, did you believe in me when I told you that? And she looked me dead in my face again and said no. And I said, Tasha, in these exact words, I believe our ship has sailed and I'm filing for divorce. Before I just go along to get along, I would much rather you be happy with somebody else. And I can do bad all by myself. And my thought process, and I'm going to be honest with you, I don't care how any of you feel about this. The world gives me enough. My job gives me enough. Society gives me enough. If nobody else I would want to believe in me and to be there for me, it should be my wife. Because everything that you sought to do, every opportunity for furthering your education, I wanted to make sure it was there. Every opportunity for you to work, I wanted to make sure it was there. Every opportunity for you to be with your family, I wanted it to be there. Now, the only downside was when we went to Hawaii, I offered multiple times to fly her family out. She told me no. Offered multiple times to fly her. She told me no. So I'm like, I can't just be taking leave. And all of my military people, y'all know this. You can't just be taking leave back to back to back to back. The military don't work like that. It don't. And what I mean by leave, for those of you that don't know, is essentially you have to ask your command for permission to not come to work for extended periods of time. That's all that means. So I don't want to talk to y'all like y'all don't know what I'm talking about, but there are people that don't know military language. So I want to make sure I clear that out. After that, I filed for divorce. I filed in January of 22. From January 22 to January 23, Tasha and multiple of her friends were in Discords, GroupMe's, doing Zoom calls, doing FaceTime calls, talking mad trash about me. Put the divorce out there to multiple people that didn't even know that we were in the process of divorce, because what did I do that entire year? I kept it gangster and I didn't say nothing. I did not put it out on TikTok. But all these little social circles, all of these little women that didn't like me gathering themselves around her. A couple of the women that were neutral parties between the both of us, holding space with her. She was telling them. I didn't say a word. Even my so-called ops went on the Hawaii website. How they got this information, I have no idea. And they pulled it up. Ispeak's in the process of a divorce. Never confirmed it. Until January of 23, when there was a situation with another content creator who, at this point, y'all know who y'all are. And I finally revealed it on TikTok. To whereby I was accused of essentially steamrolling her, to whereby before I got on that live, I asked her. I have no reason to lie about that. Hey, listen, I'm about to go live. And because of the actions of this person, I'm about to be straightforward about this divorce. Are you okay with that? Yeah, fine, whatever. Are you sure? Okay, cool. That's all I said. Yes, I am in the process of a divorce. To whereby she went live talking about a whole onslaught of things. The quote unquote January live that her little friends like to talk about, that's the live that they're referring to. Because while she was live, I went live. Because I'm like, what you're not going to do is drag my name through the mud. Did I say some things that I probably shouldn't have said? Absolutely. However, after that live, what she conveniently likes to leave out is that I apologized to her for that live privately, long before I put a video up on TikTok, because I felt like it would have been disingenuous of me to put a video up on TikTok talking about I apologized to her without apologizing to her in private. Just as well as the disrespect was public, I wanted to make my apology just as loud. So I apologized to all of her friends that I said something to, and then I put up an apology to her. So no, I'm not going back into that live because that's all they have. After that, I made it very clear. You are not going to come into my live saying anything about her, regardless of what has taken place between us. I comment filtered her name. I comment filtered the word wife. I comment filtered the word ex-wife. Hell, I even comment filtered all of my kids' names. Because I was not going to foster nor facilitate a space where people felt comfortable disrespecting her. Did I get that same respect? No, I did not. She allowed multiple people up in her box to disrespect me, to push narratives about me that are not even true. And I said from the very beginning, I don't care what you do. I am not going to foster nor facilitate a space where random people feel comfortable disrespecting you. She made a statement on a live. When our children get older, they're going to see these things. And she's going to have to explain these things. No. Because the only thing that I did was go live and speak my truth. Like I said, I will acknowledge that I said some things that I probably should not have said. And I held space and I apologized to her for that. And to my children, I'll be able to explain that. But what you'll also have to explain is why you felt comfortable day in and day out disrespecting me on your lives, disrespecting me in your content. That's what they're going to see. Because after that live in January of 23, I spoke nothing on you. People will come in my lives being messy. The divorce is final. That's it. I'm not talking about her. I'm not addressing any of that. I prefer not to talk about that. But the majority of your content, subbing me, disrespecting me. Every time you go live, disrespecting me. I even said to you via text message, and I got the text and I'm going to show it. I'm about to get to these receipts. Heal however you deem necessary. But this was brought on when she said that I wasn't taking care of my kids. that I wasn't helping her take care of the kids. So much so that you got people calling me a deadbeat dad, a deadbeat father, saying I'm not taking care of my kids and I'm not doing for my kids. Then you said, I think it's ironic that only time he comes up to see the kids is once a month, and he only sees them for 24 hours, sometimes less than that. Why can't they ever go down to Virginia? You then talked about me not talking to them and going a 10-day stretch of not talking to them. I got the receipts for that too. So let's start with, before I get to any of the financial things, let's talk about me not seeing them, right? In our divorce decree, where is that at? No. Give me just a second. Here it is. In our divorce decree, it states, the visitation time sharing schedule shall be as follows: shared birthdays, alternating major holidays, summer vacations with the plaintiff, which is me, 1 week after the last child is out and to be returned 1 week before the start of the next school year, unless the plaintiff plans to remain in the vicinity of the defendant for visitation. Defendant, which is her, agrees to meet plaintiff halfway between Philadelphia, PA and Norfolk, Virginia. Let me also dispel another rumor that she stated and that her friends like to perpetuate. She likes to get on live and say she doesn't feel comfortable with me getting the children because in August of 2020, I left them with complete strangers and I went on Facebook to find a babysitter. What she likes to conveniently leave out is that Facebook group that I went on was our military housing Facebook community. I didn't just post a status and say, hey, who wants to watch my kids while I go to the Blammies? And she knew this before saying that on TikTok. Her issue wasn't that they were with someone. Her issue was that she didn't know that person, but I did. Her issue was that she didn't want me there at the Blammies. That's what the real issue was. I would never just leave my children with a random stranger to go to an award show, not to discount or undermine the Blammies. I also want to state something. She said on live that she has full custody of our children. Just so that this is clear, custody and defendant jointly with a detailed visitation time sharing schedule as described in paragraph 6B. The reason why the children live up in Philadelphia with her is because that's what I agreed to because of my military schedule. Now, let me get into me asking her for them for a year. If I wanted to go to Philly today and get my boys and bring them back down here to Virginia to live with me, I'm well within my rights to do so. The only reason why I'm not doing that is because I don't want it to be a negative situation. I want to have agreeance. However, if I truly wanted to go there, I could. And if the police were called or whatever the case may be, because she didn't want to give me my children, the divorce decree clearly states we got joint custody. I agreed for them to live in Philadelphia with her. It wasn't until I found out that she moved my children without telling me that I asked her for them. Let me explain. Well, actually, no. Let me back up before I get to that. In January, I sought to establish the third weekend of the month as my weekend to see the children. This was January 1st. I said, is it okay to establish the third weekend of the month as my weekend to have the kids, unless it's a 3 to 4 day applicable weekend and I come up there? She asked me the third weekend, they come to Virginia. I said, yes. She said, that sounds fine. I said, cool. So for her to say that I find it ironic that he only comes up to Philly to see them and never brings them down to Virginia, let me give you the context on that. She then says to me via text message, you can't just come here every third weekend. You will literally only have them 24 hours versus you come up here Friday, you pick them up from school, and you have them the weekend. That was her plan for me to come up there, to have them when they get out of school Friday. I pick them up. I'll have them all day Saturday. Got you. I have them all day Saturday. And then I bring them back late on Sunday. So I found it really disingenuous that she would make that statement as if I didn't want them to come down here to Virginia. Now, let me show you all something before I get to the rest of these receipts, okay? Now, mind you, I am in the process of moving, but I want to make it very clear. This is my children's room. I never took their bed out of my home. So I have applicable living space for them to come down here to Virginia. So the idea that I didn't want them down here in Virginia was crazy work. And I'm like, why would you say that on live knowing that that was your plan? And again, I'm not going to fight you for them. I want to work with you with them. Now let's get into her moving them. Part of the stipulations of our divorce was for her to get, she said to me that her brother got her a house and got her a vehicle. Now let me put something into perspective. We got divorced in Hawaii. In transit, a PCS is a permanent change of station. I got orders here to Virginia. Because we were getting the divorce, I specifically took orders here to Virginia so that I could be close to them. She said her brother got her a house, he got her a car. I said, okay, cool. The stipulations of the divorce decree was for her to provide me a lease and provide me a title because I wanted them to have stability. Why was that a sticking point for me? When we were married, there was a time where she wanted to go see her family. She had Kylie and Caleb. Kyra wasn't born yet. And she wanted to go home to Philly. I said, cool. I'll take you up. I got you. I'll take you up to Philly with the kids, and then I'm going to turn around and I'm going to go back home to Virginia. I took her up there to Philly. The very next day, I'm getting dressed to go out to brunch with my friends. She calls me. Hey, can you come get us? I'm like, what? Can I come get y'all? You're not just down the block. What are you talking about? My grandma just put everybody out. God rest her soul. I said, what you mean she just put y'all out? She told everybody, get the F out her house. I said, Tasha, you got 2 kids. What do you mean just get out? Can you just come get us? I said, cool. Never again will you go up to Philly and I not have money for an Airbnb or for a hotel so that this never happens again. In the process of our divorce being finalized, let me put something into perspective. The Hawaii judge told us we got 6 months. After 6 months, they lose jurisdiction of our children. So therefore, we would have had to start over the entire divorce process here in Virginia. For those of you that don't know the laws in Virginia, you have to be legally separated for at least 1 year before you can file for divorce in Virginia, especially if you got kids. Which means we would have had to live together from August of 23 to August of 24, separate. We'd had to been legally separated, and then I could file in August of 24, which would take a year, if not a year and a half sometimes, to 25, maybe early 26, meaning we still would have been married. So I'm thinking to myself, no, I don't think that these are bad sticking points to want you to have somewhere to live and a reliable vehicle to get our children back and forth to school in order for you to work somewhere, wherever you decide to work at. She sends me a lease. The lease was supposed to be good for 1 year. The lease stated that she would not pay rent, that she would only pay utilities. I said, okay, cool. Labor Day weekend, she was supposed to go up to Philly to get the title. She came back with no title. So I'm like, I don't really feel too kosher about this, but all right, I'm gonna rock with it. She said her brother had his own place. And then he had a secondary residence that he was giving her. I said, okay, cool. No problem. At least y'all got somewhere to live. They get up there to Philly. I dropped them off. And as I'm putting things in the house, she made me aware that at the second residence that the brother had, apparently the landlord was selling the building. So he had to move back into the first residence. That don't make no sense. Because the second residence, when you sent me the lease, it would have said that you're not paying a mortgage. Because why would he be renting 2 different places? Now, is it possible? Sure. But I didn't believe that. But again, I let it rock. Cool guy. I have nothing bad to say about her brother. I thank him for allowing them to live there. No problem. She never gives me a title. Her brother comes out and walks to the car that she said was the car that he was giving them. I said, are y'all sharing a vehicle? Because why is he going to the trunk of the car that he said that he got you? In my mind, I'm thinking he should have another vehicle. So whatever he needs, all of that stuff should have been cleaned out already. So she says to me, oh yeah, I'm going to take him to work. And after I take him to work, I'm going to have the vehicle. So you don't have a vehicle. Now I'm pissed because I'm like, in my mind, I'm thinking, now I don't think that he's going to do this to her, but this is just my thought process. I'm already skeptical about this place being yours because I don't want nobody to be able to put y'all out nowhere. And I don't want nobody to be able to get mad at you and take a vehicle from you because now you shit out of luck with an opportunity to work and my kids can't get to school. So we immediately go into the home and I say, kids, go in there with her brother. And I pull her into the room. I said, Tasha, why you lie to me? You did not have to lie to me about this. Well, I felt like if I would have told you the truth, I wouldn't have got the kids. I said that wasn't even the case. We had already had a conversation in regards to you getting them. And all I wanted was for you to have stable housing and a stable vehicle. That's it. Now let's fast forward. I'm on the phone talking to my kids because the only way up until, and I'll get to the iPad situation, for me to talk to them was to either call her phone or to FaceTime her iPad. So I called her phone because she wasn't picking up on her iPad. So I figured she probably ain't got service. She's probably out and about. I think it was right around the time for them getting out of school. So I called her and I'm talking to the kids. Hey, how's your day? Woo, woo, woo. What'd you do in school? Blah, blah, blah. Daddy, we're in the white car. I said, white car? Your car's not white. I didn't think nothing of it. Yes, Daddy. Daddy, school was good. We're in the white car going to the new house. New house? What new house? I said, now mind you, I'm on speaker in the car. I said, Tasha, what new house? What are they talking about? Her best friend, his name is Mike. She said, we're going to go live with Mike's mom. She's letting us live with her for a little bit until I get my apartment. Her brother's name is Dominique. She calls him Damo. Damo lost one of his jobs and we ended up moving out. I said, when were you going to tell me? For those of you that do not know, the Navy has this thing called the Navy Family Accountability System. It's short for NFAS. Anytime my children move residences, I have to update that. I said, Tasha, when were you going to tell me that you moved the kids? Oh, we just moved yesterday. Okay, and? You didn't just make that decision. You can't just be moving them and not saying nothing to me. That's not right. So I expressed my discontent with that. And I said to her, and I'm going to read the text message. I'm going to show you all so that you don't think I'm bullshitting. This is the text. And it's a lot. So I'm going to read it. I said, I'm going to be honest. I'm a little frustrated you moved them and didn't tell me, as it creates great uncertainty for me and obvious safety concerns. When you get a chance, can you shoot me the new address so that when I get up there next weekend, I'll know where I'm coming and I can update the address in my NFAS, which is the accountability system we use for our dependents, if you don't remember. And then I put in parentheses, I'm not trying to be smart. I just didn't want to assume you knew that. Moving them without notifying me ain't right, and I would appreciate it if you didn't do that again, and are more forthcoming with information when you move them where you are into your own spot. I don't have much, but damn it, I will still try my best to move whatever mountain I need to. However, I can't help what I don't know. Can we just please not do this and open this communication better? I'll definitely do better on my end as well, so don't think this is all you. And thanks for the groceries as well. That's really going to help me a great deal. Don't forget to send me the address when you get stable at your crib. So I'm like, we are the adults in this situation, not the children. My children should not have told me that y'all were moving. You should have told me that. Right after that, and I'm going to backtrack a little bit to the alimony, child support, and all of the money portion. I'm going to get to that. Don't worry, just wait on that. I got up there. I got an Airbnb. And part of my frustration was also the fact that if my children would not have said that, when I went to go and get them, I would have showed up at the wrong place. So my question was, when were you going to tell me that you moved them? No problem. I get the kids, we chilling, we having fun. I take them to Chuck E. Cheese. This was the weekend right before my birthday. So I said, hey, when you get off work, can we have a conversation? She was like, yeah. Well, no, she didn't say yeah. She said, if you're going to argue with me, I don't have time for that. I said, listen, I have no desire to argue with you. I just want to have a conversation with you. That's it. The reason why I said I'm going to get to the money, because part of this has to do with money. I said, I would much rather talk on the phone than have this conversation via text message. She said, okay. Later on, I think it's either that night or I think it was that night. We had a conversation on the phone. I said, listen, right now, I don't feel as though you all have stability, right? So before I got up to Philly to get the kids for that weekend, I talked to my chain of command. I talked to my command master chief, and I talked to, my immediate chain of command, my supervisors. And they're willing to help me help you. What do I mean by that? I said, let me get them for a year, just so that you can get more stable into your new place. Now, let me be clear. None of this is your fault. I don't know the inner workings of what all took place, and I'm not blaming this on you. But right now, they don't have stability. And I want to be able to provide that for you, at least for a year, for you to get on your feet better. Give me a second, y'all. I got the little thing across the screen. For you to get on your feet better so that you're better suited to care for them. I want to be clear about something. None of our financials will change. You're still going to get your child support. That literally comes out of my check, and we'll get to that. You're still going to get your alimony. All I ask is that you use your food stamps to alleviate that grocery bill from me so that I can, feed them, essentially. She said, okay, give me a day to think about that. Let me crunch some numbers. Let me think about it. I said, okay, cool. I said, I want to reiterate, none of this is your fault. However, while I have the means, I want to help you. Said, okay. Hung up the phone. The very next day, if I'm not mistaken, it was either the next day or the day after, I go to have a conversation with her, remind her like, yo, you said give you a day, woo, woo, woo. What's what? She goes, I don't feel comfortable with that. I said, okay, why is that? Because I've been working so hard to get this place of my own, and I feel like once I get this place of my own, I'll have more stability. And I'm like, listen, you're not going to be able to have as much flexibility in your own spot with them. So I was only asking to help alleviate that from you. But if you're saying you good, cool, no problem. I got you. She said, yeah, that's what I want to do. I said, okay, cool. February rolls around. Immediately, my check was half. And I'm thinking to myself, and my military people, y'all know this, whenever there's something going on with your pay, you had best go to admin as quickly as possible. I'm like, yo, why in the flip do I have a $700 paycheck? Yo, can y'all go in whatever system y'all got and figure this thing on out, right? Now let's pause there. I told her after February, when I got that $700 paycheck, alimony is $1,000. I told her coming into March, because that was February, I would only be able to do half because I had only gotten a $700 paycheck. And I know everything keeps going to money. I promise you I'm going to get to the money and it's going to make sense. That is when she started on TikTok, saying that I wasn't helping her, saying I wasn't paying child support, saying I wasn't assisting her in taking care of the kids. Now, mind you, for court, I got a lawyer. And when I say I got a lawyer, I'm going to do something for you all in real time. I really don't want to do this, but I really want to put this into perspective for you all, just how serious I was, because I couldn't afford it. When they initially gave me in January the quote for how much they were going to be hitting me for, $1,700, $1,724 to be exact. I told them I can't support that. I'm already paying you $1,000 in alimony, and I'm barely making enough to pay my own bills. So I would come up with a plan for me and you before we even get to that point, because there was no need for you to even put me on child support. But again, I'm going to get to that. She knew that I had a lawyer. And I said on TikTok multiple times, I'm not going to address her until our second court case was done. Our first court case was January 20th, if I'm not mistaken, and our second was April 22nd. So she knew that I wasn't going to go back and forth with her on TikTok. My issue, I want to reiterate this, is not that you all were supporting her at all. Her Cash App, her Amazon wish list for her. I was never upset about that. My problem was the fact that you got people out here thinking I'm some deadbeat, sorry-ass father that's not taking care of his kids. And you trauma bonding with women who are not even getting a fraction of what you're getting. And you know you capping. But I got to keep it gangster and not say nothing, because my lawyer told me don't engage her on social media. I'm going to show you all my phone. And I'm going to click the Navy Federal app, and I'm going to show you just how much money I'm in debt, okay? And then we're going to get into the money. And I'll be honest with you, I'll get to the iPad shit later. I'm going to show y'all just how much money I'm in debt. All right, you see that? Now, this is the first part, facial recognition. You see that? See that personal loan at the bottom? I have no reason to lie to you all at all. I've been busting my ass because I told her I could not afford that. And I couldn't do it by myself, so I had to go and get a lawyer. Oh, he got all this money for a lawyer, and he could have gave that money to me. What? You know how many men are out here paying child support that they can't pay it? Do y'all know what happens when men can't pay child support? They get put in jail. For those of us that are in the military, let's get to this paperwork. I told her via text message that they were garnishing my paycheck. This is the notice of garnishment that I received January 31st of this year. And I'm only covering up my command's address. This is how much I was due to pay. $17.24, 50% of my paycheck. Now I want to be clear about something. They started taking my money in February. She said that I never paid alimony. This is a screenshot confirmation of $1,000 that I paid in December. $1,000 that I paid in January. Another $1,000 that I paid January 31st for February's alimony. Then I communicated to her that, and I'm going to total all of this up for y'all in the end. I got you. Notice a lot of numbers. Then I told her come February, when they hit me the 15th of the month and took half my check, that I would only be able to pay her half come March. This is the confirmation for March. And I paid it on the 4th because I told her that's when I get paid from TikTok. Because I was getting back into my battles and I had already told her previously, give me just a second. That I was depressed and I wasn't battling like that on TikTok. And my supporters know I was not battling like that. So all that extra money that used to come in wasn't coming in no more. And I told her that I'm struggling. I'm now getting a $700 paycheck. Hold on. That was March. That's cool. That dropped. And then this was April, right? Now, that right there is $4,000 since January. I'm sorry, since December. That was $4,000. Now, before they left, right? These are all of the transactions. So when I took her off of my account as a joint owner on my checking account, and I took myself as a joint owner off of her checking account, we kept a joint savings. These are all of the transactions of money that I sent her before alimony even started. And I'll get to the end portion. These are all my statements. Because she said to me that she wants to regain her independence after the divorce. So no, I don't want to depend on you every time I need something. I said, well, when the kids need something, come hell and high water, please let me know. She said, okay, I will. The total from September to December, before alimony started, was $1,948.49 that I gave her before alimony even started. Now, leading up to that, I sent her a message. This was on November 14th. I sent her this message. I said, I want to start by saying, well, this was a previous conversation that we had. So, I mean, I don't have the previous conversation screenshot, so that part's irrelevant. I said, you made mention to me about backing off, and what's not going to become a norm is every time I get paid, all of a sudden, random expenses come into play. You didn't communicate a timeline nor a value to me in regards to what they need, on top of saying, let you do it first. So to assume I knew that they needed X, Y, and Z was a bit much because it was not adequately communicated. I'm prepping to be there next week. This was in November, to be there for Thanksgiving. I'm prepping to be there next week, which is clearly going to get cut short unless I make more money, as I'm prepping to start dropping you that $1,000 starting in December. I still have to live too, and dropping random couple $100 expenses on me last minute is not the wave. That can be articulated better, and moving forward, you're going to have to start budgeting as well if you aren't already. She said I insinuated she wasn't budgeting. I literally said if you aren't already, because giving you that $1,000, I don't have $200-300 just to give you because I'm not battling on TikTok. TikTok is extra. It's always been extra. The Navy is my job, my career. That's where I get my money from. I said, you identified 3 sources of income to me, and I've not once counted your pockets nor asked, do you have this or do you have that? Come December, the $300 a month that I was paying for daycare would come out of that $1,000, and the remaining $700 to be spent on whatever else you need for the kids and etc. Money is not coming in as it was before, and until it does, I have to live off of what's guaranteed to me, which is my check from the Navy. I'm going out of my way to give you space and respect your grind, and I felt ridiculously disrespected this morning by saying that's it when I asked about the money. Last month, that last minute $300 she asked me for had me living off of $75 for a week and a half, and I couldn't even get groceries, and I didn't complain once. I made it happen. I said that's not the wave, and that stops today. I have transferred an extra $200, and until I get home to see what else I can do, that's all I have for now. I'm going to cut next week short so that I can grind longer, so that my check next Wednesday from TikTok carries better when I get there to help more and cut my travel cost down. What I was saying in that was essentially, I'm about to start paying you $1,000 a month. You can't just randomly hit me like you hit me in the past for $200-300. You got to give me time. Instead of allowing me the time and space to clarify, because clearly she misunderstood that, she went and put me on child support. Unbeknownst to me, December rolls around. That conversation was December 7th. December rolls around, and I get this letter in the mail from the Family Court of Philadelphia. So I say to myself, this can't be for me. We didn't discuss nothing about no child support. I threw it on my counter. I'm going through, for those of you that live alone, hey, I don't know what your process is of going through your mail, but I put everything on top of my microwave. When I go to eat, I'll go through my bills, I'll go through all of my mail, throw away what I need to throw away, so I flip it over. That bitch got my name on it. I'm like, what? Mind you, this is December. So I'm sifting through it, and I see that it was filed November 27th. The week of the 22nd, I was up there in Philly. So I'm like, you couldn't have a conversation with me? So I called her immediately. Don't do that.
Hello? Hello? Yes. When were you going to have a conversation with me and tell me that you were putting me on child support? I wasn't. What? weren't. Because I told you when you originally said that you were not going to be on child support, I said to you, when you fuck up, I'm going to put you on there because I...
Now let me pause that really quickly. Let's put into perspective. This was December 7th. Up until December, I had already paid her $1,948.49, as well as on the 1st of December, $1,000 in alimony. So now I've given you $2,948. Please tell me how that's me fucking up. But let us continue.
Asked you to do one thing. You thinking that $1,000, that alimony, that's supposed to be for me to maintain for all of us, and you weren't sending anything else? Those were your words? I never said I wasn't sending anything else.
In that text message that I read, I never said that I wasn't sending anything else. All I said was, you can't just hit me for random expenses now. You got to give me time. But instead of having a conversation with me, this is what she went and decided to do.
Yes, you did, Anthony. I said to you the alimony because I have to live too, to include the daycare in that. And that I even told you beforehand, that if you needed help with anything, just let me know. And you told me to back off. That's exactly what I said. That is not what you said.
I read the text message.
That is not what you said. What? That is not what you said. That is not what you said. You said you weren't sending anything else. When did I say that to you? Read your text message. Your long-ass paragraph of a text message. Yeah, in the beginning. Okay, so I apologize for not being more clear in my message. You didn't even receive the first payment yet before you filed this. So you didn't even ask me for clarification. You talking about when... Hold on a minute. You said when I fuck up. You didn't even have a conversation with me to clarify. That's what I meant in the beginning of the month. Was when you sent that long-ass text message. No, a conversation goes both ways, not one. So I send a message and you put me on child support? You sent that message. Then tried to make it seem in that message as if, one, I don't budget. When, one, I have all 3 kids here.
And just as I reiterated in that message, I said you're going to have to budget if you aren't already.
I never said you don't budget. Incomes. Hold on. You brought up my 3 incomes, which I don't even know how you're counting. I don't even know what 3 incomes you're fucking counting. Because let's not count TikTok. I don't make nowhere near, and I told you I don't. Again, this is what I mean by we could have had a conversation when you asked me to back off and allow you to do, and if you need assistance, you'll let me know. You identified. Hold on, Tasha, hold on. That text message, Anthony, when I said, let me do what I need to do, I referred to me, and that was in reference to the fucking laptop, Anthony. Hold on, but listen, Tasha, listen, Tasha, please listen. Tasha, please listen. This is what I'm saying about having a conversation. I did not take that as just the laptop. I took that as you saying to me, I want you to back off because your exact words were, I need to regain my independence. Buying a laptop is not regaining your independence. The reason why I said 3 incomes is because you identified to me your work from home job, TikTok, and the stuff that Mike helps you do. I don't clock your money. So those were the 3 things that you identified to me. So I said, okay, cool. In my mind, I'm thinking with absolutely no number values, I don't know how much you're bringing in. And you said, if I genuinely need it and I've exhausted all options, then I'm going to hit you up. Hold on, Tasha, hold on. The fact that you couldn't even have a conversation with me before even filing this, I didn't even send the first payment yet. That's insane. And then for you to get on the phone and say I wasn't even going to tell you, That's crazy. All this time we've been talking, you could have at least said something. I could have had a conversation with you to clarify. I told you from the very beginning. I don't know if you think that I'm harboring this deep-seated hatred for you and I'm just going to let you struggle. I told you from the very beginning. Whatever it is that you need, within my means, I got you. But for you to put me on child support and not even say nothing to me, and me receive this in the mail, that's crazy. And to say that I fucked up because you couldn't have a conversation with me about a text message? That's not, yo. You sent a long text message. And you could have had a follow-up conversation with me instead of going to go file for child support, Tasha. Am I not worthy of that? Are you worthy of a conversation? Am I worthy of a follow-up conversation? Because clearly there were some misconceptions had with that message, and I understand, and I can hold space for that and apologize for the misunderstanding. However, instead of having a conversation with me, you went and put me on child support. I think that's a bit of an extreme, don't you think? Not at that moment. When you sent that message and you said what you said to me, and you came at me the way you came at me, and then sitting over here talking about random expenses, your children are not random fucking expenses. I never call my children random expenses. Don't do that. Don't do that. I never called them random expenses. Don't do that. Don't do that. What I meant by that, again, if you would have had a conversation with me, is that you wait until payday, not even asking me what I got going on, to hit me for $200-300 randomly. And if it's in my means to do so, I move mountains. You know what I've ate in the past 2.5 weeks? Noodles. I didn't realize just how much my TikTok money ain't coming in the same way it used to. But I still made sure you had your bread. And I still move mountains whenever you tell me you need something. I've never called them random expenses. But if you would have just had a conversation with me to clarify, I could have told you all of that. So you made an impulsive decision in that moment because you was what, mad? That's foul. That's foul, Tasha. That's foul. All right. So after that conversation, I sent her a text. I said, I got a question when you got a minute. After our conversation regarding the misunderstanding, are you still going through with the child support or are you going to drop it? She said, we need to have a conversation and come to an understanding. So I said, okay, let me look at my bills. Let me look at what I could feasibly do because I have no issue with ironing out additional money for you. I said, here's the plan. For right now, because the alimony only goes to November. After November, the alimony stops, right? My bills on the first of the month at the time were $10.15 on the first of the month, and then on the 15th of the month, $9.69. Most oftentimes, I would get a $1,700 paycheck, something like that, right? So the first of the month, I got about $600 left over. The 15th of the month, let's just say $700, right? Now, I also got to have money after the 15th of the month, right, to be able to go up to Philly to see my kids. I got to pay for an Airbnb or a hotel, gas, tolls, money for them to eat, and money for us to do activities. Then I got to turn right around on the first of the month and get you your $1,000 in alimony. So in that, I said what I could do is $300 extra, right?
up until November. And then I'll double it to $600 of guaranteed money a month that I would give you. Not to say that I wouldn't give you anything extra, because intermittently on TikTok, when I make money, I throw you something. Once my boys become preteens and or teenagers, I would get them and I would drop that $600 down to $200 for you to keep our daughter. That is my proposed plan. We don't even have to get child support involved. That's what I can do for you. She said, okay, give me a day or so to think about it. I said, okay, cool. I thought that was a pretty solid plan, right? 600 guaranteed. Hell, there are some women that don't even get a fraction of that. There's some women that's not getting nothing at all. But I'm saying, like, okay, I want you to know that I'm willing to do. However, I got to do within my means so as to ensure that you're still getting that alimony, as well as I have money to come up and see my kids. I'm not saying that I'm not going to help you. This is the guaranteed money that I can give you. The next day, she don't say nothing. Something was going on with my youngest. So I didn't even trip. The very next day, I hit her. I'm like, yo, can we have a follow-up conversation? She goes, that's not enough. Can you do 600? And I broke those numbers down right there for her. This is what I get on the 1st. This is what I get on the 15th. I still got to be able to come up and see them and get you your $1,000 on the 1st. I'm not going to be able to feasibly do that. Then no. I said, okay. I asked her, the hearing was set for January 20th. She could have very well went in there and been like, nah, I'm gonna, I'm good on child support. Not even gonna move forward with it. No. When I said I can't do the 600, she's like, okay, I'm moving forward. We went into our hearing. The paperwork that was given to me, she reported no job. She didn't report that I was giving her $1,000 in alimony. At the time, she had told me she was getting $1,400 in food stamps. And I'm just like, whoa. Okay. None of that was annotated on the paperwork. So I'm saying to my lawyer, like, yo, they're not going to take none of this into account? He was like, no, this is just to crunch numbers. The very first one is to crunch numbers. What does your income look like? What is your income to debt ratio? They don't care about all of that extra stuff. You'll find that out if you decide to go to court. I said, okay. We presented, all of our paperwork. She presented whatever paperwork she presented. But in the paperwork that she submitted to them, and I want to make sure that I cover up my kids' names because I don't want to dox them. I don't want people having that address. Give me just a second. Here we go. Right here where it says plaintiff is or is not receiving public assistance, she put 0 while simultaneously telling me she was getting $1,400 in food stamps. The additional income should have been the $1,000 that I was paying her in alimony, because all these things are factored into that number for child support. So I told them that I couldn't pay that $1,700. Well, excuse my ignorance, because I thought that they were going to suspend that value up until the next court hearing, which was set for April 22nd. That wasn't the case. I received this notice of garnishment January 31st. And then February 15th, they took half my check. I'm tripping. I go to my admin, I'm like, yo, what's up? They go type it in. Did you look at your MyPay? I'm like, no. I'm like, well, I looked at the paycheck, yeah, but I didn't look at anything else. Like, I looked at my LES, my leave and earnings statement, my check stub. They said, no, go down to court orders. I said, why would I do that? Because there's something there and we're not at liberty to tell you. We just have to instruct you to go look that up. I said, okay, cool. I go and I look it up and I see that notice of garnishment. They were thereby garnishing my wages, taking 50% of my check. So now, come February, I'm getting a $700 paycheck. I hit her up immediately. Hey, listen, I believe February was the only weekend that I didn't go see the kids because I couldn't afford it. I'm like, I got a $700 paycheck. I can't even afford my own bills. On the 15th of the month, I'm behind $200. So now I'm like, yo, moving forward, I'm not going to be able to do the whole 1,000 in alimony. I'm only going to be able to do half because now they're literally taking $1,700 out of my check. She responded like she responds now to almost all of my messages. Okay. Then she starts her onslaught on TikTok and the smear campaign with all of her little friends. He's not paying child support. He's not paying alimony. I just showed y'all the alimony. I just showed y'all the notice of garnishment. They took it in February, they took it in March, and they took it in April. So let me give you some numbers. February, March, and April, $5,172. So all in all, from September to present day right now, I've given her $11,120.49. Deadbeat where? And then you go so far as to disrespect my friends, not even realizing that February, they helped me pay that alimony because I didn't have it. The first of the month now, I'm behind. And I told her this via text message. I'm now operating in a deficit. Because of my depression, I haven't really been battling like that on TikTok. I tried to get a little bit back more active, but I just don't be feeling like it. Because I feel like I'm not being me. And I built my platform off of being transparent with my audience. And I'm not just going to get on here just for the sake of faking happiness, breaking out and crying every live. Because God forbid I show a little bit of emotion. Now all of a sudden I'm doing this and doing that. So I go and I talk to my therapist. I go and I talk to my friends and I vent to them, not social media. I told her, vent however you deem necessary on social media. But to say that I'm not taking care of my kids and I'm not helping you, crazy work. And you know you lying. And my biggest issue is that you got these women trauma bonding with you. You got these people out here supporting you under false pretenses, and I'm the one bearing the brunt of that. I have no problem with anyone supporting you. I welcome it. I support it. But the first of the month now, my reality is that I'm negative $293 to pay my own bills. The 15th of the month, I'm negative $247. That's $540 I'm already negative. Then, right after that, after I get my 15th of the month check and trying to make ends meet, I gotta find money through the help of my friends, my close friends, and those that love me and care about me, to get money to come up and see my kids. Then I gotta turn around a week later and find $1,000 to get to you for alimony. And I told her I am struggling. I've never been quiet about that. But even through my struggle, living off of $75 for a week and a half, eating ramen noodles for a week because I couldn't even afford groceries. You got the audacity to get on social media and say, I'm not taking care of my kids? Now, let me take you one step further. Because although you may not know this, I'm sure you do. Because of all of what you were doing, there are people that have reached out to my chain of command and told them, oh, Petty Officer Holland's not paying his child support. What do? Now I got to go before my chain of command and give an account. Pull up my MyPay and show them the notice of garnishment. show them through my LES that they're taking that money out of my check. You cannot be in the military and be behind on child support. You can't. It wasn't until more recently that you actually clarified that it was actually coming out of my check. But the damage had already been done. I want to be very clear. I don't hate you. I want to do everything that I can to help you. But I hate what you're doing to me on social media. I'd be doggone if I would have hosted a live and had multiple random people get up here and feel comfortable disrespecting you. All because of false pretenses. Feel however you want to feel about me. Don't like me all you want. But for you to do that, knowing the truth, knowing that I am giving you this money, knowing that I'm giving you damn near my last, is foul. And you know it is. And then what would piss me off even more is that what y'all don't see is when I call my kids and she tries to have conversation with me like everything's hunky-dory, like we're the best of friends. After you just got finished dogging me on TikTok. After you just got finished dual living with your little girlfriends dogging me on TikTok. I just want him to leave me alone. I just want to be left alone. Unless it has to do with my kids, I don't talk about you on social media. I don't even communicate with you unless it has to do with my kids. So you playing this damsel in distress on social media, rage farming for all of these women that don't even realize that you not living the life that they live in. That don't even get a fraction of the support that you've been getting. They out here doing it with way less. Some that don't even have nothing. You got random people coming into my lives, calling me a deadbeat, saying I'm not taking care of my kids. And you know what pisses me off even more? The fact that you talking about, oh, when our kids get older, they gonna have to see this. And while you do this, while you trash me, while you talk down on my name, you do this right in front of our kids. So much so that my daughter walks up and says, are you talking about daddy? And I gotta get screen recordings to my phone of you telling people you gotta change the subject because our children recognize that you're talking about me. These past month and a half, 2 months, when you've been doing these lives in your car, Cairo is right behind you. You know damn right well I love my kids. You know damn right well I'll move hell and high water to ensure that you have what you need. But this shit is foul. And every single one of you that did lives about me, you now have to show some integrity. Because if you knew all of this while allowing her to do this and perpetuating these lies about me, you're just as disgusting as she is for those actions. And if you didn't know, you now have to give an account for that. Because many of you said with full confidence, he's such a deadbeat. He doesn't take care of his kids. He's not there for her. He just abandoned her. When I've been busting my ass day in and day out, trying to get a second job approved through the Navy, and now they got 2 denied. One at Jimmy John's, one at the Boys and Girls Club. Many of you think that this shit is easy. Divorcing her was not easy. That was my best friend. And many of you think, oh, just because he asked for the divorce, he should be okay. Because y'all not used to seeing men show emotion. Y'all not used to seeing men express themselves in the absence of dogging out their children's mother or dogging out their ex-wife. I don't have to do that to show you all that I'm hurting. That was not an easy decision for me to make, but it was the one I felt like I needed to make in order to move forward. Maybe you need to be with somebody else to be happier. I've been diagnosed functionally depressed because I still operate at a high volume, because I recognize I still got to go to work. I still got to put the work in at my job. My personal life has not a damn thing to do with my professional life, and I thank goodness for this chain of command that I have, that I can be vulnerable with, that have been through some of the things that I've been through, that have held space for me. My friends and coworkers that have been through some of the same things that I'm going through. You don't have no deadbeat ex-husband, no deadbeat baby daddy, and you know you don't. Now, can I hold space to say that you may be, well, not maybe, you're clearly angry with me, and that's okay. I've said to you on multiple occasions, vent however you deem necessary. Hold space however you deem necessary. But when I got to do things like find out about my daughter's autism evaluation on TikTok, I got a problem with that. And I hit you up and I say, hey, can we open this line of communication? I don't care what you do on your platform. You've been dogging me for months. And I've said nothing. Even before all this court and child support stuff came into play. All of these little fuck-ass duets that you be doing, throwing shade at me. And I say nothing. Do what you need to do. That's fine. If anybody knows anything about me, it's that I love my children. And I'll give my absolute last in order for them to have. So I want to reiterate to all of the women that said things about me, I forgive you. I don't care if you like me or not. I forgive you. Because if you continue to perpetuate these lies after this is put out, because I know people are in here screen recording, you're just as disgusting with those actions. Because I had no problem with you all supporting her. I still don't. However, doing it under the guise of trauma bonding, and then I start receiving death threats, because I don't know if you know this, Tasha, but you got people that love you and support you too. Now, granted, that portion wasn't your fault, but they're acting based off of the things that you're saying, knowing that they're lies. How dare you not take care of that black woman and those children? How dare you abandon her because you got your friends saying on live that I've abandoned you and that I'm not helping you? And you do all of this with no receipts. That's why I hate this app now. Because just like Polisa, you did the exact same thing that she did. Making it seem as though I'm not supporting you. Having your friends thinking I'm not supporting you. Y'all go send her some money. She got abandoned. Her children's father ain't helping her. The exact same thing. And it's disgusting. And I'm so sick and tired and fed up of this platform that you did that for 2.5 months. No receipts whatsoever. But in order for anyone to believe me, I gotta pull up text messages, screenshots, court documents, my fucking bank statements, official court documents, all to prove that I'm taking care of my kids. And I recognize that there are going to be people that don't give a damn about nothing that I showed, that don't give a doggone about nothing that I'm saying. I still don't like you. You ain't shit. That's fine. However, I truly do believe that the truth will be a lot more resounding than the lies that have been told on my name. The lies that have been perpetuated about me, from content creators that didn't even know a fraction of what was really going on. And took to their live streams day in and day out, back to back to back to back, doing videos calling me all out of my name. Let me also state something, because there was a person that said, oh, he got money for a new suit at Airbnb and woo woo woo, and he could have sent that money to her. He spent all that money on his birthday and he could have sent that money to her. Well, guess what? That suit, I didn't pay for. My birthday dinner, I didn't pay for. That Airbnb, I didn't pay for. I know it's hard to conceptualize someone doing something nice for me. That night was crazy. Crazy work. But I didn't pay for none of that. I was treated. But then those very same individuals that did that for me, those two beautiful women that did that for me, also helped me come and see my kids. Every step of the way, I've been moving mountains, and those closest to me have been assisting me and ensuring that you got what you need for them. And I told you, whatever you need, tell me, and I got you. But to do all of this on social media, knowing that I was going to be quiet because of the court case, was foul. And you knew it was cap. I've been nothing but honest with you this entire time about my struggles, but you don't care about that. And that's fine. But do not dare get on social media lying. Now, let's get to you saying that I don't talk to the kids. Let's get to that, because that's some crazy work too. In order for me to talk to the kids, I want to reiterate, before anything happened with any tablets or anything like that, it was via her phone or her iPad. If she's working, I can't talk to them. Because whoever they're with, she's apprehensive toward giving me their contact information. And in my mind, I can only think it's probably because of what you're saying about me. But I can't prove that, so I'm going to just let it rock. I'm going to let it rock. Whenever you get home and I have an opportunity to talk to him, I'll talk to him. Cool. Now let's get to these screenshots. I sent her a message because she wasn't picking up the phone. I figured she was at work. And I said, this was February 21st. I had to go back into the screenshot and date it on the printout. And I said, I got fed up with not being able to talk to them while she was at work. And I said, hey, I'm going to work on getting them an iPad so that I can talk to them while you out so as to not impede what you have going on, nor tie up her brother's phone. She responds back with, she can download something on their tablets. And I said, if there's an app on their tablets, then that's fine. So I'm not going to spend the money on a whole iPad if you can download something on their individual Amazon tablets for me to talk to them. She said it's Android, so I think Hangout is on there. That's February 21st. No problem. That's February 21st. February 28th, I hit her up again. Did you download the app you said you would download on their tablet so I can talk to them? She said, yes, she did. I said, Google Meet. Did you add me as a contact on them? To this day, those still are not on their tablets. I said, okay, cool. Saturday, March 23rd, I text her again. At this point, she told me that she was getting them iPads, the older two. So I said, okay, cool. Mind you, February 21st, I asked her to get them an iPad, and she told me she would download the Google Meets on their Android tablets. Didn't happen. Saturday, March 23rd, I said, hey, I still haven't received those emails I was supposed to get a few days ago to be able to talk to them on their iPads. Can you send that so I can talk to the kids? Still hadn't received them. Then she gets on TikTok. What was it? My apologies. This happened, I think, the day after my birthday. Talking about I've gone 10 days without talking to them. I don't call them, blah, 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 whatever, whatever. I didn't know what her work schedule was, nor did she tell me, because she reported no income in January. So I didn't know any jobs that she had. I found out about the jobs that she had on TikTok. Her doing Uber Eats. Her texting me and telling me that she was doing DoorDash. Her telling me that she was doing Uber to keep the vehicle that she had. And then finding out that she's pulling 15, 16-hour shifts at a mental health facility as I'm not sure what the exact title is, like medical assistant or something like that, at an adult home for autistic adults. It's 4 different jobs, right? So I don't know what your work schedule looks like. I hear her say on TikTok, do a screen recording, of course, because, let me also mention this too. She likes to mention how while we were married that I blocked her when I filed for divorce. She likes to conveniently leave out, she asked me to block her because she didn't want to see my thirst traps and the women in my comment section. She likes to conveniently leave that out. I didn't just block her for the sake of blocking her. She asked me to do so, but I digress. I then hit her up on March 26th afterwards, telling her, hey, I still don't have those emails. She said on TikTok that her work schedule is she takes the kids to school in the morning, and then from 8 o'clock in the morning till 2 o'clock in the afternoon, she does Uber Eats. Of course, with Uber Eats, she can stop that whenever she wants. Goes to go pick up the kids and takes them home. Her dad has them from 2 in the afternoon until midnight now. She's working at the mental health facility. From midnight till 3 in the morning, she's doing Uber. So in my mind, I'm thinking, so what's the apprehension toward me getting them? Because barring that schedule, you're not raising them. Your father is. So why not give them to their father to help you? But like I said, if I wanted to go to Philly today and get my kids, I could. But I don't want to put them through no back and forth if we can't agree. They don't deserve that. So I would much rather us agree, especially considering my schedule, because I'm going to have to talk to my chain of command to ensure that I can have them. Ensure that I get that space to take care of them. So this whole idea that she went on another one of her friends live and goes, he won't approve for me to leave Philadelphia. But wait a minute. You just said with your whole chest you got full custody of them. If you got full custody of them, why would you need my approval? She wanted to, which she conveniently leaves out, take them to Chicago, to her best friend's house. Shout out to her best friend. I got nothing bad to say about her. Who lives in Chicago, who has a 2-bedroom apartment or a 2-bedroom house, whatever the case may be, that already has 2 kids. And I said, no. And if you're going to do that, at least give me one of my children. At first I said, my daughter. She said no because of my daughter's IEP, which is the individual education plan, and she needs her mother. She's a little girl, she needs her mother. I said, okay, cool, no problem. I said, well then, if you're gonna go to Chicago, give me my boys. Let me get the boys. She goes, well, Cairo is still a baby, like kinda, you know what I'm saying? He needs to be with his mom. I said, okay, cool. I'm comfortable with you getting Caleb. I'm like, all right, bet. I'm cool with that. You go to Chicago, you take, Kylie and Cairo. Although I don't like it, at least I'll have Caleb. They're still going to communicate with each other. Nothing's going to change. Fully support you going to Chicago. The very next day, she turns around and tells me, I no longer feel comfortable with you getting Caleb. What? I don't want to split them up. I don't want them to feel resentment toward one another because they're split up. Now, while I understood that, I didn't agree. We are the parents. We make the decision. We explain that to them. They're 7, 5, and 3. Most of the time, they don't even understand what's going on. However, our children are very intelligent. So I'm like, no, I'm not supporting you taking them all the way to Chicago. I'm the third weekend of the month, and this is what the nail in the coffin for me was. The third weekend of the month, we've already acknowledged as my weekend to come see them. So you're telling me you want to take all 3 of them to Chicago, and once a month, you're going to buy not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4. No, it is 4. My 3 children and you a plane ticket to come fly back to either Philadelphia or to Virginia for me to see them. You're going to have to get a hotel for the weekend, a rental car possibly, and you're going to do that once a month. That is fiscally irresponsible. That doesn't even make sense. Why not allow me to at least get one of my children? That way, when I do come to get the other 2, it's for longer stretches of time. I don't want to split them up. And right now, literally, the only reason why I'm not fighting her is because I don't believe that they're not being taken care of. I don't believe that they're in any type of danger. And I believe in her capacity as a mother. I wanted to alleviate that pressure up off of her so as for her to be able to breathe a little bit better. Because I know that I didn't anticipate her leaving her brother's crib. You told me you were good for a year. I definitely said salute to your best friend whose mom allowed you and the kids to stay with her for that time period until you got your own place. And I will acknowledge that there is a lot more flexibility when not having them. That doesn't mean that you're not going to miss them. And I will hold space for that. But I'm only asking you for a year so as to help you to ensure, because I'm going to be honest with you, renting a car from Uber as your primary vehicle is not a sustainable model for success. It's not. And eventually, you're going to have to get your own vehicle. Me getting the kids for a year would have allowed you that flexibility to work whatever hours you wanted to work. Get whatever opportunities. If you wanted to work from the crib, you have a lot more flexibility with that. And digital nomads are on the rise. People are paying top dollar for work from home jobs. People are making good livings from the crib. Then you could go live, do your makeup stuff, your lashes, all that stuff. You'll have a lot more flexibility. You told me no. So for you to make it seem as though you're just out here struggling and I'm not trying to alleviate none of that is foul. And you know it is. The statement that you made in regards to your mental health and me saying that, all of the things that I said in regards to your unaliving attempt and things of that nature that I apologize to you for. In front of all of these people, yet again, I'm going to apologize. Because I should not have said a lot of the stuff that I said on that live. Then to have your friends turn around and say that they don't care if I kill myself over all of this was crazy work. And you didn't say nothing to them at all. And you know that I apologize to you for that. Now, am I saying that the hurt goes away? Absolutely not. However, if we're going to be logically consistent here, that was crazy for you to allow them to just sit there and say. I have absolutely no problem apologizing when I'm wrong. However, this entire fiasco, everyone's saying, oh, I wish I would have kept this off of social media. You brought this here. All I did was confirm our divorce. All of this stuff these past few months, you did. So this idea that because I got the bigger platform, that I'm the one that brought it here, crazy work. Because I talked to you privately. I do my best to address these things with you privately. And we said to each other before you left, and I am going to name drop in this moment, when you were still living with me and Crystal put up a video subbing me, trying to be smart, I asked you to ask her to take that video down because I wasn't saying nothing about your friends. I said, can you tell them to stop antagonizing me? Because I'm not saying nothing about them. And you asked her to take that video down, and she did. And I respected the fact that she took that down. Because I didn't want no social media war with you. For the exact reason that you stated. When our children get older, they're going to see this. However, you know what they're going to see more of? You disrespecting me. Because I definitely did not reciprocate that. So for you to make it seem as though that you just want me to leave you alone, stop talking about you. You accuse me and my friends of talking about you on their live stream. Crazy work. Nothing but lies. My friends do not talk about you. And if I'm going all the way there, there are people that hit me up that have wanted to say something to you. Friends that have wanted to defend me because my friends knew all of this. But I told them, don't say nothing. Don't engage her. And you go and disrespect my friends talking about you regularly on our live streams, and it was nothing but cap. Because we actively avoid. I asked them, not on some like checking them type of situation. I asked them, can y'all please not engage her? I know y'all know the truth. I know y'all want to defend me. And I'm not calling out nobody specifically. Don't say nothing to her. I don't want to mess my case up. And when I finally do drop, it's going to be me. I'm not letting nobody in the box to feel comfortable disrespecting her at all. But I'm tired. I really am. And then I'm going to get the onslaught of comments of, you always in some drama. You always in some mess. While actively avoiding this. But I got to do all this to prove my innocence in this regard. But y'all can just get on the internet and talk with no receipts. No screenshots, no bank statements, no court documents, no transactions. And people just drag my name through the mud. Calling me all out of my name. To those of you that did that, I hope it was worth it. And I'm not going to call nobody out specifically, but I hope you have some integrity and that you go back and you correct those lies and that misinformation that you put out about me. I don't give a damn if you like me at all. I care very little. I care that my supporters respect me. And you cannot like me for maybe something that I posted or something I said. That's fine. But I'm more concerned with people respecting me. And for you to put out there that I'm not taking care of my kids when the majority of my supporters either have kids or have grandkids, my supporters that look up to me, that may feel let down by this, there's a responsibility that comes in this. Many of you said in my comment section of my video, I speak, you don't owe us nothing. You don't owe nobody nothing. You ain't got to explain nothing. That's cap. Because there are people that want answers. But they want answers because of what you've been doing. I've been supporting you to the best of my ability. Most days, let me pause to make a point really quickly, because there was something else that you said. You said on your live, I'm trying to figure out how he still lives in a 4-bedroom house and me and the kids are not there. And I told you a month prior that I cannot afford to live here, that I'm in the process of moving. My house just got approved for me to move to. That's a lot cheaper than where I'm living at right now. And I told you that. You stated that because of that very thing, oh, I would go to his chain of command, but the last time I did that, it backfired. But you leave out the context of why it backfired, and you got people thinking, more specifically women thinking, oh, it's the military. They're going to defend him. Misogyny, misogyny, misogyny. No. You falsely accused me. You went up to my command, falsely accused me of neglecting my children, neglecting you, and financially abusing you. And they did an investigation, got a statement from you, got a statement from me, and nothing was founded. Nothing was substantiated. And you were deemed a threat of neglect and abuse against the children, not once, but twice. But you conveniently leave that out. So no, you didn't just go to my chain of command for support in your time of need. You got these women out here thinking that I'm just this ain't shit ass military dude, content creator, making all this money that I'm not making and not supporting you. And you know that that's the furthest from the truth. That I'm literally giving you my last to ensure that I'm meeting these deadlines. You sat in front of that judge on the 22nd of this month and lied to his face. When I said I'm paying $1,000 in alimony, he looked at you and go, you're getting alimony? No, I haven't received anything. That's what you said. In court. Recorded in court. Then you double down and say he's behind $1,000, which is a fact. I am. Because I told you, because of the garnishment of my wages, that I was only able to pay half. Crazy work. Not knowing that the judge had right in front of him those very same screenshots, those bank statements and transfers of me paying that money. Then you said I pay it when I want to. That I don't help you, and that for the alimony, here it is. December 1st, January 1st, January 31st for February, the 4th of March, and I believe the 5th of April. It's always the first of the month. So it wasn't just, I just pay it when I get ready, because the divorce decree actually states that it should be due on the 1st. But I told you that because I was trying to get back a little bit heavier on TikTok, that my first check from TikTok comes on the 1st. And that's what I would have to move that to. I've been nothing but transparent from the very beginning. Feel how you want to feel about me. Hate me all you want. But a deadbeat father, you'll never be able to call me that. An absentee father, you'll never be able to call me that. I will sell everything in this house before I'm not able to see my fucking kids. I will sell everything that I own before I'm able not to be around my kids. But do not make it seem as though I'm not trying to be there. When you actively, for a month and a half, damn near prevented me from talking to them. On social media, making it seem as though I'm not taking care of my kids. That's foul. And anybody else that states this, moving forward, pushing this narrative, y'all push them to my YouTube. Because I'm going to download this live and I'm going to post it. I don't want to beef with you on social media. This is not the route that I wanted to go. But what you're not going to do is lie on my name. What you're not going to do, it has social media out here thinking that I'm not taking care of my kids and that I'm not supporting you. I told you, whatever you need, I'll move hell and high water to make it happen. I recognize that divorce is rough and rough for all parties. I never said we had to be the best of friends. I never said that everything had to be hunky-dory. But what you don't get to do is get on live disrespecting me damn near every single day. And then make it seem as though I'm not supporting you. All because you want to push a narrative and make money on social media off of the degradation of my name. I'm sure your supporters, hell, my supporters, don't mind helping you at all. However, them rendering that support to you under the guise that they're doing it because they're relating to you, they're relating to a situation that one of their girlfriends or family members or mamas might have went through or that they're presently going through, that's foul. And all of you that perpetuated those lies against me, you're disgusting.